I don't blame the African leaders and chiefs.
So whom to blame?
A man, King Leopold II, suggested for a meeting, and it was chaired by Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. I blame the Berlin Conference.
Why?
Because they peacefully, if now the European countries had not went to the Berlin Conference, they would have still been fighting until now.
Okay.
For African countries, but they would never get Africa. And even by that time, in that space left, African leaders would get time for development. So by the time they had reached here, we would defeat them.
Okay.
But the Berlin Conference made everything.
Made everything worse.
Yes.
Whom to blame now? Exactly.
The people who chaired the Berlin Conference. And if any other president is to meet with me, or me to meet with other presidents, I would ask that president, what do you think about African unity? I have been to State House twice. The one of Kenya and the one of Zimbabwe. But whenever I enter the presidential house, last time when I went to Kenya, I asked Mama Rachel Ruto, what do you think about African Union or African unity? And she told me what she thought about African unity. And that same question is the same question that I imposed on the President Emerson Mnangagwa
of Zimbabwe.
I asked before I forgot. I remember I was about to forget, but I remembered and I asked him, what do you think about African unity? And if any other president is to meet with me, or me to meet with other presidents, I would ask that president, what do you think about African unity?
African unity.
Yes.
So what did the President Emerson Mnangagwa told you?
He told me that Zimbabwe wants African unity, loves African unity. Since it has been in many sanctions, since it has been laid on many sanctions, it had joined regional integrations for our well-being.
I understand.
Yes.
The moment Africans wake up and understand the power and the resources that we hold and the value that we are to the rest of the world, then clearly decisions will be made in favor of Africans and not others. You understand what I'm saying? So
it may take 100 years, but one morning people will wake up and say, I'm an illegal immigrant in Australia. I'm an alien in America. I'm a foreigner in Britain. Where is my home? Where is my land? And these small little pieces of land that you have taken for yourselves and build yourself lush houses, these small little properties that you beat your chest around, you're going to leave your children with a big, heavy 1 milestone hanging on their necks. And when that generation comes up, you are fortunate enough you're still with us. They're lucky. Ask me why. Ask me why.
Why?
You still believe in Jesus. If a man claps you one cheek, turn the other cheek. Give him the other cheek. If a man takes your jacket, give him the waistcoat also. If a man forces you to walk with one, walk 2 miles. But as we are teaching right now, an African spirituality, going back to our roots, and we are weaning the children away from the titi of Christianity into their African roots. They will want access to their rivers. They will want access to their forests. They will want access to their mountains, where they can practice their own spirituality. And when that day comes, you will wish you had listened to my instructions. I am saying this futuristic, in a futuristic way. This is a prophecy I'm giving you.
Mr. President, there is no problem. I am meant to be a president.
My very first question that I have for you, Ne, is they call you Master President. So do you feel like a president, or you are just a boy with like big dreams?
Actually, I am both. I feel as a president, and I am also simply a boy with a dream of uniting the United States of Africa. Since we haven't yet been with a president for the United States of Africa, so I aspire to become the president of the United States of Africa. I remember even I was already at school. because I remember we are during the holidays.
Yeah.
That's when I told my brother. Then when we came back to school, they were asking me like, what do you want to become in future?
Yeah.
I said I want to be the president. I want to become a president.
Of the United
Then
States.
they started pushing me up. Say that yeah, you can do it if you try. So like I got that feeling from there of becoming a president. Yes.
How old were you when you actually started? When you actually when you got that idea of becoming the president of the United States of Africa, and when you started reading books and understanding that ideology?
Yes. It was during when I was in that room. I started reading the Nkrumah's books and these books of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. By that time we were given some books for our class, but I preferred reading the book for primary 7. Like Nkrumah's adjective, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage's adjective, plus Kenneth Kaunda's adjective, all of their adjectives, they wanted one thing, African unity.
Yeah.
So since there is no one willing to become the president of Africa,
Yeah.
I aspire to become the president of the United States of Africa.
Okay. Probably you try to find out why did they fail, or why did that dream not come to life?
Like why did they fail? I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know some reasons why they failed, but what I know is like first starting from Nkrumah. Nkrumah was said that Ghanaians own an apology to Nkrumah.
Ah.
Yes, they own an apology to Nkrumah.
Why?
I don't remember, but he was assassinated. That's how his death was.
Yes.
If Nkrumah was still alive to this day, Africa would have been united. But Nkrumah was just assassinated.
Yeah, because of that dream.
Yes. Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, he tried to unite Tanganyika and Zanzibar. That's why today we have Tanzania.
Oh.
Yes, he started with only 2 countries. Then he went and he waited for Uganda to get to gain its independence, and also waited for Kenya to gain its independence, because he believed that if Tanzania and Kenya plus Uganda got independence at once, it could actually be one country. He looked for ways of starting a unity, the unification. But he started with the East African community. That's why he's the founder. That's why we still remember him nowadays. And on 26th, I will be going there to his burial grounds.
Oh, 26th of this month.
Yes, of this month. I'll be going to remember his legacy.
Oh. In Tanzania?
Yeah, in Tanzania.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I actually also wanted like us to get back, because we know you as the United States of like the president, and we know the dreams that you have and all that. But we also want to understand, who are you? Where are you from? Like, where did you grow up? And just just for people to know you. Are you from here, or like
Like for me, like actually I don't fully introduce myself. I am Akot Emmanuel, known as Mr. President 009.
009, okay.
Yes. The reason why I'm called 009 is that I was the 9th child in the program, Rise the Voice Africa program. Like, it is a mentorship program, where we mentor children, like finding their talents, and some like me, they are mentoring me as a leader, because I want to be a leader.
Family from Africa and across the world. I am here, the presenter to the Black History, and I'm so proud and happy today to present this, because I'm so happy to see how the African youths are coming out, and how in the vision that they are having towards African continent. Because for so long we've been here, people have been here, generations have come and passed, but they never had these visions. They never had this kind of vision, because if they had such or this kind of vision today, we would have not been speaking about the unity and all that we are talking about today. But we've been always coming here to speak something different, how Africa, and maybe exposing ourselves on how we have been built, how we have developed, how we have put Africa in this position. Because at this time, Africa is in a position whereby some people, maybe you can say the past generation never expected that maybe from this time to this time, Africa will be where it is today. But because what was started by many people who believed in the unity of Africa, who believed in the freedom of Africa, because Africa was so well developed. Africa was free. Africa was well organized under the kingdoms or kingships, the queens, and Africa was so well created as, and at the same time was so well blessed. But since the time of the people who stepped here and came to destroy everything that was planned or created, that's when Africa started to face all these challenges. But now today, whenever I see the young people are coming out boldly to speak about the vision of Africa's unity, the borderless Africa, I feel like there is hope. There is hope, and this gives me motivation that what we are talking about here, whenever we come here, as I see how many youths are coming out to speak about the unity, it gives me hope. And this reminds me of what great people like Kwame Nkrumah fought for this for so long, like Muammar Gaddafi, Patrice Lumumba, who all came out to speak about this great agenda, but they never achieved. They never achieved because they never had support at the time. Because they never achieved because the people who controlled Africa those times were so powerful. They were so convinced. They used to convince Africans and find the way on how to eliminate all these people who are only having the vision of how to protect Africa and fight for it, so that it can continue to be how it was created. But now, the roots were never cut off. The roots the roots remained strongly firm, and that's why today we expect experiencing this kind of things happening, whereby now we have today the generation who are only doing things that are that you can call the visions, who are only working for the vision of Nkrumah. We never grew up and find. We were never born and find this great leaders like Nkrumah living, but we are working toward their vision because they are our forefathers. They are our forefathers. We came from their lineage, and all the vision they had, they believe that the coming generation will be the one that will come to achieve this. So at this time, it's so annoying to see Africans are fighting against themselves. It is very hard, very annoying today to see when I see Nigeria fighting against Burkina Faso, today to see how Uganda is fighting against Tanzania, to see how Kenya today is fighting against South Africa. This is not acceptable. This is not the way to go at this time. But this is the way to think on how to move freely from Kenya to Uganda, how to move freely from Nigeria to South Africa, how to move from Somali to Gabon. This is what that we need to be addressing at this time, because we cannot achieve this agenda of unity if we cannot be able to deal with these things or these issues that we feel like is so pretty. People like Ibrahim Traore, these are the leaders who are coming out to give hope to the people that we can do this. We can do it without some people's influence. In this video that I presented you, these are just an 11 years old from Uganda. But this young man or this kid is thinking of a lot of things that even people of 50 years cannot be able to think about it. Because it is very hard to find such kind of person at that age coming to speak all that this young man is addressing. Many people, many kids at this age, they think something different. And now here, this kind of person is thinking something different, which many of the adults are not thinking of. So this just gives a motivation that truly we were blessed, not only with gold, not only with diamonds, but with knowledge and with the power. That's why we say that Africa was colonized and enslaved, because it was so powerful. It was so powerful, and the people who colonized it, they knew it. They knew that if we don't do this, then it's very hard for us to come and defeat these people. So they had that plan of splitting Africa through Berlin Conference, through that slavery and colonization, because this was the only way to make them to come and conquer, capture, and control Africa. Because before they came here, they knew all that was in Africa. Before they stepped here their foot, they know all that was here. And for them to come and just start to shoot or to kill everyone so that they can take this was very hard, because the people who lived those days, were so very generous, were so very welcoming, and at the same time they were so very powerful. So they would have not just come in just like that. That's why they came in with different tactics, spreading good news, which make African leaders or kings for those days to fall for it. But later on, they came to realize that they were being looted, they are being stolen. That's why they started to resist. They started to fight. That is what caused all this slavery, colonization, everything that made Africa to be in this position today, to be in this status. But I'm so grateful that today to see how Africans today are awake and how they're thinking the best to the continent. Because we have to remember one thing as the Africans and the black people across the world, that we only have African continent as a place to call our home. And we will never have any other place than this. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we fight for this, to achieve the agenda of the great people who died fighting for this. Because it is very shameful to see that all that these great people who died fighting for it, they achieved some. But what they left, which is a very little or few, for us to complete, we're just playing around. We have put greatness behind in front, and we have left to work with the agendas and everything and visions that was there, which made other people. Because the life that we are living today, we are living the life that was fought for by other people. It is our responsibility wherever you're from, as a black person, to know that this freedom that you're having today, it cost some people's life. And if you can be able to think about this this way, then you will do great. You will fight for this great continent, and you will not allow anybody else to come in and destroy everything that was fought for. That is, he's called Mr. President from Uganda, 11 years old, who is only fighting to become the president of Africa. And surely this is what leadership is. This is what is said that leadership is from God. Then, if leadership is from God, then we need this to see this kid one day achieving his dream. The dream being the president of Africa, who only dream of uniting Africa to live under one currency, under one military army, under one president. Be blessed. Tell me your views. Hope that you've enjoyed the video. Let's meet on the comment section in the next episode, and may be blessed.